Hey, if Jason Kidd gets fired in the offseason, call me, Mark. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Shot Circus. My name is Emma. This is my show. It's about basketball, and this is my new setup. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm still working on the whole lighting issue and how that's gonna work moving forward because I don't know how these lights impact my light. It's weird. But they do change colors. They have different blinking fun patterns that swirl around, which is fun. Don't know if I'll do that because it might be distracting or it might be really cool. Anyway, this has been a fun week in basketball, but also a little bit boring. I'm not going to lie. Having LeBron out is boring. Having Nikola Jokic out, boring. Luka Doncic out, boring. Lots of injuries on the Heat as well. And kind of a bummer week. Did not watch a ton of basketball, but I'm here to speak about the games that I did watch. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's just get right into it. So the first game I'm going to talk about is the Suns at the Timberwolves, which was on Monday. Last Monday, today's Monday, so I'm filming on Monday, we'll be up on Tuesday, but last Monday, and I like this game. I think I only watched the fourth quarter, really. And I think what's wrong with the Timberwolves is that they just lack a lot of maturity. Cat is good. He's a really good player. He's a phenomenal player. He just gets a little too caught up with small things. He lets it get to his head, and then he kind of just loses his rhythm completely. And I think that's dumb. That's a dumb thing to let ruin your style of basketball, especially when your style of basketball is so great. Then obviously Anthony Edwards is still a problem. I feel bad for all these players. Obviously Cat and Anthony Edwards are kind of in the league of their own, but not Anthony Edwards, god damn it. D'Angelo Russell's really good. Malik Beasley's really good. So I'm just I'm sad. I'm sad for this team. They confuse me. And the Phoenix Suns are phenomenal. Once again, did not watch a ton of this game. Haven't been watching a ton of Suns basketball. I don't know why, because they're on a crazy win streak. Probably because it's a West Coast game, so I'm really trying to be asleep by 11. But what I did watch of this game, just another constant reminder that Chris Paul is the clutch man. He is just so calm under pressure, always making the right moves, and an exciting player to watch. So that's all I have to say about that. Then we have the Celtics at the Cavs, which I was really excited to watch because there was a rematch in the works from last time. Unfortunately, Jared Allen did not play, neither did Lauri Markkanen, neither did Kevin Love, and then towards the end of that game, Evan Mobley was out and also wasn't playing well up to then, so kind of a disappointment, kind of a bummer. But I still like the Celtics. Okay, Jetty Osman, I did not know who that was until literally 3 weeks ago. Phenomenal shooter. Then we have Ricky Rubio, who's been playing just crazy out of his mind basketball lately. They were kind of the stars of the show, especially towards the end of the game, just bucket for bucket, just splash, splash, splash. It was really great to watch. Okay, obviously the Celtics are down Jaylen Brown, but to see them have to work this hard against a team that maybe had 7 active players, probably had truly a 7-man rotation, and all of their best players out except for Darius Garland and Ricky Rubio now, I guess. It's sad, and they should be better than this. They need to blow it up. Even as they're getting better, towards the end of the week, they've been getting a little better. They need to blow it up. They need to trade everybody not named Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Even Robert Williams, who I love. I think he's great. Dennis Schroeder, actually. I think they should keep him. But everybody else, I mean, if you could keep Robert Williams and Devin Schroeder, that would be good. But to be honest, anybody not whose name does not start with a J needs to go. If a trade is up and the value is good, they need to go. Even Robert Williams, even Dennis Schroeder, blow it up. Then I also watched Denver at Dallas. Jokic was in, but not Luka. Oh, Luka was in this game. Oh, so we got full strength. Okay, why didn't I pay more attention to this game, I guess? And then Kristaps Porzingis was really looking good. And, I'm Jalen Brunson's biggest fan. So to see him, downgraded back into the bench was stupid. Jason Kidd, please make one smart coaching decision in your life and put Jalen Brunson in the starting lineup. I understand he's a spark plug guy who can give you a lot of the bench, but you don't have enough depth in your team to use him as a spark plug guy, you need to put him in your starting lineup. And then Jokic he's the man. He looks great. Denver Nuggets look bad when he's not on the floor. He really facilitates Aaron Gordon, Will, and Monte Morris and their offensive growth. So, I mean, it's just going to be rough while MPJ and Jamal Murray are out, but I'm still seeing them play some really decent basketball. Then I kind of like low-key a little bit watched Heat at OKC, because I don't really, I mean, OKC, they're an interesting team to watch, don't get me wrong, but like, there were other games on. I think obviously they're in a rebuild mode, they're not going to do anything, but the pieces that they have are interesting to watch, so, you know, I didn't hate watching it. It wasn't boring to watch. And I really like Caleb Martin in this game. I think Caleb Martin has been giving us some solid minutes. I think he really added a lot to our depth. And I called it. If you go back and watch, before the season, I said that Caleb Martin was a sneaky good pickup for us, and I was right. Or is it Cody? Whichever Martin twin it is. I will correct it here. And then PJ Tucker, like, what the fuck? He's 37. Did you know that? Like, his defense has been just like completely on point and like not bad on offense for us this whole season. But he's 37. Like, I don't think we talk about that enough. Let's give some love to PJ Tucker. The next game I watched was Golden State Warriors at Brooklyn on Tuesday, and I'm glad that people are finally realizing that Barclays Center does not belong to the Nets. It belongs to the New York Liberty and then whichever other NBA team happens to be playing at Barclays Center that day. I mean, okay, here's what I've been just like raving on and on and on and on and on about how much I love this Warriors team. But it's just awe-inspiring to see how much everybody on this team is really bought into the organization. Obviously, Clay, Steph, Draymond, and now Iggy have been in this organization forever. I mean, Iggy took a detour, came back, but like they know the system, but they obviously like they love their team. You could tell that, you know, they don't just love the game of basketball, they love playing for the Warriors, right? And then you have other guys like Damian Lee, like Jordan Poole, like Gary Payton, like Juan Toscano Anderson, who were either two-way guys or have been in and out of the league or have played overseas. So they really value the opportunity to play value at this high level. And so they put it all out on the floor. And we need to talk about Andrew Wiggins, because I know last year he got a lot of backlash for really not performing at the level that he was supposed to be performing at. But, you know, he did improve throughout the season. But you could tell that everybody in this team is fully committed to winning every single time, from Steph Curry to, like, the last player on the bench who, like, never gets called up. And I can't say how much fun it is to watch this team night in and night out. And then obviously Steph Curry is Steph Curry. Steph Curry is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Steph Curry is magic. He's magic. Now on to the Brooklyn Nets. So when the season was first starting up, I was like, okay, Kyrie's going to be missing a significant amount of time. But I still think that Kevin Durant and James Harden make a championship-level basketball team. That's being seriously brought into question, right? They've been winning, right? They've been winning games. But let's be honest, like, their schedule hasn't been super difficult, and the style of basketball they're playing is not good, right? It's clear that Kevin Durant being Kevin Durant, who is obviously a showstopper, obviously one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball, is not enough. And James Harden's been getting better, but he's still not the James Harden of old. So this team is in a weird place where it's like, obviously they're a playoff team, obviously they're a good team, but a championship is now within their reach. And this is where we need to talk about the difference between the Warriors and the Nets. Because like I said, everybody in the Warriors is 100% bought into what the Warriors are doing. There's lots of guys who had to really fight to get into the league and to get a roster spot and to get rotation minutes. And Andrew Wiggins, remember at the beginning of the season, he wasn't vaccinated, so he couldn't play. But at the end of the day, he decided that his success on the basketball court and his team's success was more important than his personal beliefs on a vaccination. The Nets, on the other hand, we have somebody who, I'm not, not to knock him for it, but somebody who clearly doesn't prioritize basketball in his life, Kyrie Irving. And that's fine. You could do that. That's your own choice, but that's just the truth, is that at this point in his lifetime, playing basketball and being in a successful part of a successful basketball team is not part of his priorities. But just the commitment isn't there, the togetherness isn't there, and I think a kind of like off the court impact is like one of your star players fully isn't there spiritually, emotionally, none. We haven't heard from Kyrie Irving since he decided not to get the vaccine. Also, Steve Nash did not play LaMarcus Aldridge at all, I don't believe. And like, why? Because on the broadcast they said it was because Kevon Looney wasn't playing a ton of minutes. But like, who cares? Put LaMarcus Aldridge in, let him eat when the Warriors are going super small ball. He's been doing pretty well offensively over the past few games. So like, there's really like no negatives on like playing him unless like you're really concerned for his health and like want to rest him. But like, it wouldn't have hurt to put him in for like 18 minutes, Next game I watched was the Lakers at the Bucks on Wednesday. And I mean, there's just games that you watch where you're like, okay, like, they don't call Giannis a Greek freak just because it rhymes. It also, like, he is a true freak of nature, a freak of basketball, freakishly talented. I mean, and he has gotten better since last season, if that's even possible. He's just one of those players that it's truly a joy to watch after winning a championship, winning Finals MVP, winning Defensive Player of the Year, winning MVP twice, winning Most Improved Player, is still trying to improve. It's you can't not love him. You can't not love Giannis. And then in this game, I've been talking about in the past when talking about the Bucks, is that they were really missing Chris Middleton, and I know he didn't have a great game stats-wise, but you could tell that he already brings some more offensive energy, whether it's passing, rebounding. I really like his role on this team. I think he really makes a difference, and we're already starting to see it. And this is like, we haven't seen a ton of Drew, Chris, and Giannis together. So once we start seeing that, the Bucks are definitely going to be back in championship contention and championship talks. Then Bobby Portis, right? He's like this energy guy. He definitely had an impact on this game, and it's good to see him back as well. So just a great game for the Bucks. For like 70% of the game, I did like watching the Giannis AD matchup, of seeing these two very diverse, not diverse. What's the word that I want to use? Let's use diverse, but it's not the right word. That have like a diverse skill set, but are also both very strong and dominant players going up against each other. I'm saying for 70% of the game because there were, especially towards the end, AD kind of lost it a little bit. I don't know if it's an energy thing. I don't know if it's like a fear of injury thing, but there are moments where AD kind of loses it. And then there's like, okay, we saw that kind of AD that we like to see, and the like MVP level AD, but he goes away at times, and that's frustrating. But on the Lakers side, this is one of the better Lakers games that I've seen. This was THT's first game back, I believe, and he definitely added a lot. He had a lot to just energy-wise, but like, I saw him all over the place. I saw him doing some really solid defending, scoring, getting rebounds, offensive and defensive, trying to go for second chance points. So I don't know or care who was in the starting lineup before this. THT needs to be in there. I believe Kent Bazemore is out, which is a blessing because Malik Monk is getting more minutes, and I hope that once Bazemore comes back, he gets no minutes or only garbage time, because you should not, under any circumstances, be playing Kent Bazemore over Malik Monk, not like an all-star by any means, but he's giving you better minutes. And I also want to see more Dwight Howard minutes. He's an aggressive guy. His defense is not bad. He can do some things offensively, but definitely a positive over DeAndre Jordan. So just more minutes for him, please. But just overall with the Lakers, they just quit. And maybe it's like an age thing because they're just like an older team and they're like kind of short on a lot of players. But when they're down, they're kind of down, and they don't really seem to want to do anything about it. Could be coaching, could be age, could be lack of depth because of the injuries. I don't know, man. But good win for the Bucks. Really enjoyable game to watch. And, like, the Lakers didn't look completely awful. So, go them. Then on Thursday, I watched the Heat at the Wizards. Once again, kind of like out of the corner of my eye. Didn't really pay a ton of attention to it. But, I'm really liking Kuzma, KCP, and Harrell on this team a lot. People have said it before, but, when you're on a team with LeBron, you have to cater to LeBron. And that makes complete sense because LeBron James is, in my opinion, the second greatest player of all time. So it makes sense that you'd have to cater to him. But especially with somebody like Montrezl Harrell, or who else has been playing well this year that was on the Lakers last year? I forgot. But anyway, I just think that Wes Unseld is really catering to their style of play. And they look really good. That's why they look so good. And having three really good defensively minded players alongside Bradley Beal has obviously done wonders for his style of play. And Spencer Dinwiddie's been out for a minute, but he's also been playing really well. And that's why I think I was kind of low on the Wizards. One of the reasons I was kind of low on the Wizards at first was because I just wasn't sure about how Spencer Dinwiddie was going to come back, but he's been looking great. And I think maybe a little early to call this, but I do think that the Wizards are going to continue to play around this level of play. I don't know if they'll finish the first seed, but I think they're definitely a playoff team, and I'm pleasantly surprised by that. And then on the Heat's end, we did win this game. I think we had a lot of injuries. I don't fucking remember. But yeah, I do like our little bench mob from the Heat. I like Caleb Martin, like I said, Dwayne Dedmon. Gabe Vincent's been giving us some good two-way minutes, and Max Strus as well. So, pleasant experience watching this game. Then I wanted to talk about this game, this next game, because I'm still working on that Grizzlies video. It's been a few years since I said I was going to put that out, but I'm still working on it because I wanted to talk about the Grizzlies, and I didn't watch it live. I watched it later after seeing the score because I wanted to see what the Grizzlies look like when they look bad. And when they look bad, they look bad. But I'm not going to talk too much about the Grizzlies. I'm mostly going to talk about the Timberwolves because this was a really good game from them. And it's the kind of like style of basketball that the Timberwolves should be playing every night because they have the talent to do so. And I truly think it's just an effort thing. Because when they don't win, they don't look like they're trying. And when they win, they look like they're trying. So let's talk about it. Obviously, to begin the game, Pat Bev was a spark plug. He's a guy who gets a lot of flack for his play style. Maybe he's a dirty player, maybe whatever. He's not that great of a defender is what people will say. But, on this team, he got him started. And I think he adds a lot of intensity to this team and was doing a lot of scoring, a lot of rebounding early in the game specifically. So I think he definitely got them started. And despite their defense being up and down, I saw some really active and aggressive defense from the Timberwolves. And it's the way it should be because they have size, they have strength. There is no excuse for them to not be a great defensive team, or at least a baseline, a good defensive team, because they have the pieces for it. And then obviously Anthony Edwards was like shooting the lights out this game, just back to back threes, which obviously you're not going to get from Anthony Edwards every night, but it's still no excuse for a 40-point blowout. I mean, it was bad. What I will say about the Grizzlies is that it's a patience thing. It's like I said with the Wolves earlier in the video, it's a maturity thing. It's like, if you're down by a significant amount, should you really be taking pull-up threes in transition, especially when they're not going in, or should you be looking for better shots? Should you be going, I know you don't have the strongest team, but should you try to take some shots from the paint? Maybe get to the line a little bit. Speaking of getting to the line, free throw shooting was abysmal for the Grizzlies, but you're relying way too much on the three, and you have nights where you are a phenomenal three-point shooting team, but you have nights where they just don't go in. And you're not even looking for good shots. It's just pull up three in transition after pull up three in transition, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, this is not working. Can we try something else? Please, for the love of God. And then also what I noticed was there was not a lot of defensive focus. it was unclear who was guarding who. And then Ja Morant, as opposed to like the other 17 Jaws that are in the league. What the fuck? But Ja had like 11 points in this game and it took like 3 shots in the first quarter, and some of that was defense, but another part of that was just Ja not having the ball in his hands enough, not shooting the ball enough. I don't care if you're 1 for 5,000. If your name is Ja Morant, shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball every time. I might be wrong, but I think like a significant portion of their losses have been like just utter blowouts. Which is sad to see. I did watch a bit of the Boston Lakers game. Jason Tatum, I can't really say much on it because I didn't take any notes, but Jason Tatum looked really good. Jason Tatum's back. I think we're underestimating the effect of like coronavirus on players because we're like, why does this player suck all of a sudden? It's like, yeah, because he had a fucking virus and like couldn't breathe for like 3 weeks. But I'm glad to see him coming back. He's a great player. I think Schroeder does a lot for this team. And I think that the Lakers are quitters. And it's good to see LeBron back. I think I'm not going to make any judgments about LeBron's play now because, like, he's been out for a long time. The team looks so different than it has before. So then the Mavericks at the LA Clippers. That was a fun game to watch. Luka was out though, so how fun can it be? But I was really impressed by Zubac's offense. I think one of the biggest mistakes of the Clippers-Nuggets series that happened a few playoffs ago was the lack of playing Ivica Zubac, and Ty Lue is using him in the right ways, and he's been very impressive in this time that he's getting so much more minutes. And Isaiah Hartenstein not bad as backup either. And then some great defense, especially in the paint. From the Clippers. They're like I think I've said this before, but they've been doing so much better than I expected them to, given Kawhi's absence. But I think the credit needs to go to Ty Lue, as in a really good job coaching. Obviously, offensively, might have taken a bit of a dip, or like a lot of a dip because Kawhi's not in anymore. But they're making up for their lack of offense, but by playing some really serious defense. And I enjoyed watching them play. And Paul George obviously is, Showtime basketball, one of the best players in the league, in the MVP conversation, and is carrying this team and doing it flawlessly. And in terms of the Dallas Mavericks, Kristaps Porzingis is looking really good. That's why he needs to be traded right now. Like, trade him, please. Kristaps Porzingis' trade value is higher now than it has been since he left the Knicks, and I don't think that the Luka Kristaps fit is going to work out in the long run. I think it definitely has a ceiling. I think he's too inconsistent. I think he's too injury prone, and you need to do everything in your power to make sure that Luka is happy. And I don't trust the Mavericks front office. I don't trust the Maverick coaching staff. I do not trust them. But if they want to do one thing, and they want to give Luka an actual shot of being a good playoff performer, trade Kristaps Porzingis. Maybe not this season, right now at this moment. I may have overreacted a little bit, but start putting feelers out there to see what kind of value you can get out of him. And if you get somebody that's compatible with Luka, trade him. Trade him. Do it. Pull the trigger, Mark. Pull the trigger. But for right now, at least on the team, I really like the connection between him and Jalen Brunson. I like Jalen Brunson as a whole, okay? I'll say it. In case you didn't know, I'm a fan of Jalen Brunson. I think he looked really smart in this game. He was making some really great passes. He was drawing defenders, which he can get away with when Luke is not there because generally people don't defend him as much. Really playing fantastically in Luka's absence. And I think he should be back in the start. He should be in the starting lineup, okay? Jason Kidd, are you listening? But here's my lineup, okay? I drew one up, all right? Luka starts at point guard at the 1. Jalen Brunson at the 2. Then you have at the small forward, you have Hardaway Jr. Then Kristaps is power forward and Powell at center. Think about it. It makes sense, right? Why do we need Dorian Finney-Smith in the starting lineup anyway? We don't. And then the last game that I watched was the Lakers at the Pistons, and wowie zowie, that was fun. I just had it on the background because I was like, it's going to be Lakers Pistons, but I do kind of want to see how LeBron plays and how they look with LeBron on the floor, which I didn't really get to see because LeBron got ejected. Yeah, I guess I should talk about that fight a little bit. LeBron did it on purpose, and it was a hostile act. I don't think he meant to, like, split his face open and get him all bloody and shit, but I do think that he purposefully did it. And I think the ejection was right. And then the Isaiah Stewart thing was freaking crazy, man. I love that guy now. He needs to be in a Heat uniform ASAP. But yeah, that was funny. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was like he just kept running towards him. Obviously, that's gonna like I think he should be suspended for that. That was just as bad for him. Yeah, Malice at the Palace vibes. Except for Little Caesars Arena. But that was funny. But other than that, just to comment on the game and not just the fight that happened at the game, is that LA's defense, like, it truly sucks so much. It's, like, really bad. And I can't keep just saying that just, it sucks. And losing KCP, losing Kuzma, losing Harrell has really hurt them in that regard. And Frank Vogel's coaching is not helping, and Russell Westbrook is not helping. On the Pistons, I forgot how good Jeremy Grant was at basketball. I really enjoyed him on the Denver Nuggets, and I really want him to stay with the Nuggets, and I think he should come back to the Nuggets, because that would make them, like, unstoppable. But, yeah, he looked good. He was shooting lights out. This is the first time I've seen Cade Cunningham, like, actually really play, and I know he, like, kind of started badly, but he looked really good. So, like, fuck you if you, like, look like a 19-year-old in, like, his first 2 NBA games in the history of his life, and you're like, oh, he sucks. It's like, yeah, he's never done this before. Give it time. At the end of the day, the Pistons ran out of steam. They were giving it the all for 3 quarters. They ran out of steam. It's fine. They were down a couple players, and, like, I don't know. Everybody was like, oh my god, look at AD, look at Russell Westbrook, they're taking over. It's like, yeah, they are. They're really good players, and yeah, sure, I liked watching it. But, like, why do they even have to take over in the 4th quarter of a game against, like, what are they, like, 14th in the East Detroit Pistons? They should have taken over in the 1st quarter. They should have taken over, like, literally in the other fucking, like, 36 minutes of the game. They shouldn't be hanging on by a thread in the 4th quarter against, like, the worst team in basketball right now, or one of the worst teams in basketball right now. So honestly, wasn't impressed. Did not think that this constituted any sort of, like, Lakers comeback. Like, Lakers are back. It's like, yeah, no, this is a game they should have won, and they won it, and they really struggled to win it. So maybe I'm just a hater. So that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm really excited now. I think I'm getting the hang of YouTube a little bit more. And like, comment, and subscribe. Be good. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye.